Hi, I'm Patrick Tenley at PTL Outside Paints. Funny things on bits of wood. I paint watercolours and frame them. I do portraits. And I do seascapey thingies, piers and beaches, because I live in Brighton. So I'm going to talk about inspiration today, some quotes, 3 quotes, and show you a bit of watercolour painting. Try to watercolour painting while I talk loosely about these quotes. Actually possible. So it's like an experiment. So sometimes I paint and talk about the painting as I'm painting, but I'm actually going to talk about the quotes as I'm painting. So let's see if I can do it. So I've got a copy of the picture that I'm painting in front of me, and then I have got so I've got so I can't see what I'm painting, but obviously I can on the paper. So I've got 2 jars of water, a fresh water and one that's I've already started to use, and various little pots of stuff here that I'm going to use. So I haven't actually touched this painting for a while. I've been painting in oils. So I'll move the microphone so you can hear me. I've been painting something like this in oils just recently, and so I'm going to see what I can do. So I've got plenty of water on there, and now I'm going to start talking about some quotes. So 3 art quotes to ponder. The first one from Frida Kahlo says, "The only thing I know is that I paint because I need to." So that is the only thing I know is that I paint because I need to. Frida Kahlo. Resonate with this one? Well, I certainly do. And some more water. I certainly do resonate with this one. Sometimes, for whatever reason, I can have a day or 2 where I don't get to paint. Life gets in the way, doesn't it? Maybe sometimes it gets in the way a lot for people. For me, it doesn't. I'm painting a lot nowadays, so I'm really fortunate to be able to do that. And if I do miss it, I realise it when I come back and paint again. I say, why wasn't I doing it? You know, why? Because I will have had some opportunities. So it's like, it's easy to justify why you don't do something, isn't it? It's really, really easy. But I enjoy it, and then I forget, you see. That's what we do, isn't it? When we're trying to do something that's good for us, we forget. We forget about it. We forget the things that are good for us. Actually, in fact, we also forget the things that are bad for us, don't we? Because we keep going and do them again. Just thinking of the days where I used to drink rather a lot of alcohol. You know, I'd feel dreadful for a couple of days and I wasn't ever going to do it again. And then sure enough, you get to do it again. So it's interesting. For me, it's like what I notice when I'm painting is that my energies get focused. I have a fusion between 2 energies, masculine and feminine energies. And I mean, a while ago, like a couple of years ago, I had a bit of counselling, which identified the counsellor was really helpful. She said, well, I do recognise that you've got very strong feminine energy, and you tend to not own your masculine energy. So when I paint, what I find is that I experience a combination of the two. Yeah, so I get this combination of the two. And that's why it's so good for me. Because the world we live, you know, it's easy. I tend to get a bit overwhelmed and stuff and struggle with what a lot of people don't struggle with. I'm fine with some things that other people really struggle with. So strong feminine energy has never been a problem for me. There's loads of reasons for it. It's really complicated. I'm not really interested in analysing it. I just want to know the best thing that I can do for my wellness and my well-being. And painting has definitely helped. Really, really shifted, enabled me to understand these energies a lot better. And so painting's really become like a holistic practice for me. I've tried to address it intellectually, and like I say, now I'm an artist. The benefits of working on a regular basis, really, I started to make decisions that are really helpful for me. And also, you know, it's not that I feel brilliant all the time, far from it, but I'm kind of like understanding stuff about my life that I didn't understand before. If that makes any sense. I'm just concentrating on this bit here. Just putting some branches and just delicate marks, but lots. Usually with the watercolour painting, I wouldn't have left it. I've left it a good week or two, I guess. But not because I've been doing other things. Also, I need to just get my other pair of glasses and hope I can see what. So that was quote number one. The next couple of quotes, we're looking at just about starting and finishing work, which may be what's drawn you to watching this video in the first place. Is that you want to paint, or you paint already and you just haven't done it for ages. So here's a couple of quotes about finishing work. Can anything be sadder than work left unfinished? Yes, work never begun. Christina Rossetti. So maybe you are watching this for some inspiration to get working again. It's possible that the idea that you never finish anything fuels never doing it anyway. No chance of failure if you don't do it anyway. Maybe this is already a source of suffering. If you already have been making artwork for some time and the road seems to be blocked to making any more. Again, this can be for many reasons, can't it? So how do you get going again if you've lost the motivation, or at least think this is why you aren't working on your artwork? All matters to take into consideration, aren't they? How do you get going again? And the final one, he says, is from Michelangelo. No great work of art is ever finished. So I feel they're kind of linked, aren't they? That's why I put them together, about this finishing. And of course, starting anyway, starting and finishing. So, some thoughts about this could be, it's a powerful observation, isn't it? On many occasions I've started some work and got to a point where it could be complete. Then I have a moment of doubt and try to do some more and spoil it. Equally, yeah, so this can spoil what I've already done. On the same token, I can finish a piece and then a few months later pick it up again and do a load more or completely change it sometimes, which I've done today actually. It's all okay. Another possible quote is, there is a quote somewhere that says, no work art is finished until it's been sold. So no piece of artwork is finished until it's sold. We can complete our projects in a few hours, on other occasions spending days or weeks before we feel that it's ready. Continually making paintings is the way to make paintings. Then it becomes easier to allow your instinctive self to make decisions. Of course, it is never finished, because there's always something else you can do to it, but it's good to just get on and do something else. So I'll just talk a little bit about the painting while I'm doing it. I'm just putting bits and pieces in. And it is quite difficult to read about art quotes and paintings. I'll carry on doing this. Just a bit more so you can. I've got a lot more of a tree to put in here. I'd hardly just start. I've only just started to really look at what I'm doing. I remember where I was at, because I've done a painting in oil that's used this idea of a bridge without being in New York. So it's sort of similar. So it really helps to do watercolors and then move, because you learn a lot by doing the watercolors of the composition of the piece and whether it works or not. And I really like the rigor, because you can draw these lovely lines quite accurately. But it's completely different than painting with oils, of course. So this tree, I just want it to come up here a bit more. And just put a bit more dark in. Now I'm starting to look at what I'm doing. There, so I'll leave it there. I'm going to continue with this piece a bit more. So I carried on with the watercolour after I finished with the quotes. I'm quite pleased with the outcome. It's a fair representation on the camera. It's the third time I've painted Gapstone Bridge. I've also sort of taken that into a large oil painting, which is nearly done, which is taking the composition and using it on a big painting. So you can learn a lot through doing the watercolours to help you while you're painting in other mediums. So if you've enjoyed watching this, thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and there'll be more on the way.